highway rebuilt. That's exactly what happened to the 6 miles that went from 30 to Bremen. It was ground up and left ground up for about 5 years. And then soft spots were dug out, things were fixed, new culverts were put underneath, and then the road was repaved. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is that because it's being ground up doesn't mean that it's never going to be blacktop again.
To answer his one question on those heaves and stuff, no matter what gets done, they would have to be dug out.
That's what I've written in my notes. You need an excavator in there with a ton of gravel.
And we had spots dug out in Bremen.
Yeah.
You know, the heaves are on every township road, gravel road, highway. Every winter it brings the front. I mean, yeah. So I mean, yeah. You know, I mean that's just. Some years we don't have them. This year is a bad year. Open winters are tough.
Right. Frost goes down.
Yep.
And I could argue a few good reasons to go to gravel, but I just wanted to bring some of the other reasons to keep it up.
Yep. You know,
I mean, I'm not totally against the whole idea of going to gravel. I'm not 100% against it. But I do see some benefits. But just here to maybe open some eyes and spread some information that maybe you guys don't live down there, you don't think about.
Well, and there's no reason. I mean, we would certainly want to keep it paved. You know,
if we could afford it.
But the bottom line is, if you got to fix it, we got to afford it. You know, and it's there's where the elephant in the room is. It's just difficult to. So
tell the sheriff's department to get down there in September and October, and your road problems would be a lot better.
Yeah. We were visited with, but if it worked or not, I don't know.
Who's the boss? You guys the boss? Do something about it. I'm the boss of our big business, and you know what? You know, you put up with some crap for so long, lay the hammer. Simple as that. So, thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Richard, where do you go? You guys want to come up there? Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
And excuse me, who you got with you here?
Tyrone Unruh. He's a supervisor also.
Okay.
You guys got the floor.
Kate, we were just going to talk to you about those culverts up on the Labor Road. Or I shouldn't say it, let's back up. The bridge on the Labor Road. In the past, we have, well, Brent knows we've been talking about it over the years about replacing that bridge. I mean, at times, I know the county has been up there and had the repair. When Mel was on there, they were up there a few times where the dirt was giving way and they had to repair it. And it's probably about time we should look at doing something with it, either putting culverts in, getting rid of the bridge, or just wondering where you guys sit on that. I mean, you know, I know in the past you've supplied the culverts, we do the dirt work. Didn't know if that was still an option. The last few years, it's been so damn wet, we couldn't do it. Didn't really want to get the culverts and leave them lay there for 5 years before we do it. But,
Well, yeah, I don't mean to interrupt. Refresh my memory, though. Didn't we approve that or do something with it a couple of years ago? Is this the same situation?
Well,
it was just too wet then?
No,
well, it's been so wet.
It was talked about. I went there about 2 years ago, measured the bridge, measured the channel, spoke to the engineers at True North, and we got an estimate of what it would take to put pipe in there. We also went by there was a recent hydrology study 2 miles east of there, correct?
Yeah, and that was back when we done, we called them all.
Yeah, and I believe there's 84-inch pipe over there, 3 of them.
Well, there's 3 8-footers. Well, 3 8-footers is what it called for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem that time, if you remember, that was all a Fema deal. And
yeah, that's
they
what
had 3 8-footers, and then they wanted them 120 feet long. Which, I told them,
It was ridiculous.
why are you doing that? Well, because when the water swirls, that's what's washing the road out. And I said, no, what's washing the road out is when the water goes over the road. That's what's washing the road out. But I said, if you put 120 footers in, they're not gonna stay. Because when the ice comes in the spring, it's just gonna lift them right up out of the road. No, that won't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. They put them in, didn't take long. They were all sitting up there like that in the spring, very first spring. So they washed them out, washed them down the creek, ruined them. We had to go through it again. Went through a FEMA project again. This time they put in 50 or 60 footers.
60, I do believe.
60 footers, and they're still in there. Like I told them the first time.
They were twice as long the first time.
Yeah.
120 feet long. Well, they had 40 feet sticking
40
out
feet
each end.
sticking out.
I mean,
Should have cut them off and put them over where we want to.
I don't. That's about it.
Yeah.
So they done a hydrology study at that time, and they determined 3 8-footers in there. And I would have to go back and look. I'm just not sure, because right beside it we have an older, I suppose it's a 6-footer, and there's 3 or 4 3-footers in there. You know, that's where the pipe stem comes through there. So this bridge is, what did you measure it, Brent? Is it a 20-foot bridge?
Yeah, I think it was 8. When I measured it, it was fairly dry, and I think the width of the bridge is across the road is 20 feet, 18 feet long. Channel was about 12 feet deep.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring my actual calculations with. I just brought what the pipes would cost as of today.
So what do you think? I mean, what would it take for pipes to match that?
Well, if you put 3, I priced out 3 60-foot, 96-inch pipe.
8-footers.
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 Okay, with a 5-to-1 bevel, so they're beveled up. They're kind of sharp.
Yeah.
They'll break ice.
Yeah.
60 feet is substantial. There, it's plenty.
Yeah.
And it's a straight channel, which helps.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have an angle underneath the road. You got a straight channel perpendicular to the road. 60 feet would be sufficient, along with what True North Steel felt 60 feet would be sufficient. And, you know, the channel would obviously be a little wider now, because when you put in 3 8-foot pipes, those pipes have to be 3 feet apart.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
So now you got, 24 with another 6 feet, at least 6 feet in between. 30, you're looking at, instead of a 18-foot wide channel that goes underneath the road, you're looking at twice that.
Yeah.
Okay, which would not be an issue, but the price of the pipe, if we ordered the pipe today, is about $19,000 per pipe.
Per pipe. Okay.
You're looking at $60,000.
So now, I visited with Pat Beal before we came up here, and Pat told me that he can get the pipes cheaper than you guys can,
Pat likes to say that.
but he can't.
It's the same price.
The same price. Okay.
Pat, we get it. Pat he's a dealer for True North Steel.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of pipe through Pat Beal because we no longer buy pipe. We don't stock pipe like we did 10 to 12 years ago.
No.
But basically the same price that we get is the same price that Pat Beal gets. So I mean, if he wanted to order them and it was $56,500 and we ordered them and it was $57,000, I mean, is he putting lifting lugs on them? We put lifting lugs on them. That's an extra $500. Things like that. But realistically, I don't think there'd be a 1% difference either way.
What gauge did you go?
10 gauge.
10 gauge. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
On them big ones.
On those
Okay.
big ones.
Yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, or not, or what?
Well, I know this has been talked about for quite a few years.
It has for quite a few years. It's just then every time we try to do it, we get 12 inches of rain, it seems like, and then we got water in the damn channel for the next 2 years, and I don't know, and
One of the glitches is we have a new culvert policy now. But, this deal was way before we come with that.
So what is your new culvert policy?
Do you have paper copy of that?
Basically, the only, in the past, the county had to pay for 60-inch pipe or bigger underneath township roads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it is only in a county drain. And then I do believe the 60-inch or bigger in a county drain, I think is still cost shared with the Waterboard. But basically, the new policy is that the townships are responsible for pipe that are not in a Wells County drain, 100%, doesn't matter the size. I think, am I correct on that? I think I am.
Well, I mean, so where you drain things, you can put pipes in, but on a river you can't?
No, the county has so many assessed drains, like drain 1. There's 5, I think I got a map here of the assessed drains in Wells County. Now, this,
The pipe stem isn't called a drain? I mean,
well, it's a river. This would be a question for the Waterboard, okay? But this might fall because it's a pipe stem.
That's in a drain.
That's in a drain.
That's an illegal drain,
It's an
right?
illegal
Well, I would
drain.
say it's gotta be a
All right,
pipe
but-
stem, that's gotta be a.
Dan's got the culvert policy.
Here is Wells County shall pay 100% of the cost of culverts over 5 feet, and for river crossings. And for river crossings specifically refers to those which cross a portion of the James and the Cheyenne River, which are contained within Wells County, excluding their tributaries, creeks, and streams. And so if it's in the river channels, then the county pays for it. Otherwise not.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, the main drain, basically, you pay for any of the, fingers that would go out. We'd have to take care of them or whatever, but,
I need one question answered. You referred to this road based on a name, but what's its 911? What's the street?
50,
Is
50,
it 7th?
57th, I do
I think
believe.
57th Avenue?
57.
Avenue?
Yeah,
56.
56. 56.
Oh, 56, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. 2 miles.
These are other
It's
townships.
basically what,
These come into-
2.5, 3 miles south of Highway 200, correct, or north of Highway 200.
Just right by
2.5.
Steve's.
2.5, yeah.
2.5 north.
Yeah.
So is there something that's possible through the water board?
Well, yeah, I want to talk to Larry about this because, it was the water board that was a part of adding the pipes to the Sykeston Reservoir, which the pipe stem goes into.
Right.
Okay? So, this is 2 miles after the dam, basically,
Yeah.
okay, on the pipe stem. So, realistically, I don't know how that does, how we don't involve the water board on this.
And he'll be.
So you as
And,
townships, I mean, this has gotta be a two-way or a joint venture. You have made the decision that you're gonna do it. Cause you,
Well, we can't do it ourselves, but,
No,
yes.
right.
Yes, I think the time has come, we need to do something.
There are very, very, very few of these left in Wells County.
The problem is with them, as time goes on, I mean, something's gotta be done, however we can work it out. Otherwise, some point in time, somebody's gonna fall through this damn thing with a semi or a tractor or a grain drill or whatever. And,
I'm not familiar with the area. Is it a well-traveled road?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nationwide
Yeah,
road.
it is.
yeah, it's a major road.
Like I said, this has been talked about probably, for lack of a better term, ad nauseum for about two and a half years.
Well, it's actually been talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
Back when Mel was on,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this, I've been on the board probably for 30 years, and then we've talked about this for many years,
Right.
but it just never, just the way it goes. I mean,
Right.
it seems like there's never enough money to go around, but
Yeah.
Amen to that.
yeah, it's just sooner or later you kick the can down the road, eventually you gotta do something, and I think we're probably there.
What time is Larry coming in?
Not on the
A little
agenda.
after 11.
Is he on the agenda?
The Water Resource District's culvert policy is what it's called.
Oh,
I will, text Larry right now. If he's not doing anything, he can maybe come in.
And you got Tammy right there.
Yeah, Tammy, was she here?
She's coming.
Okay. The pipe stem.
Okay.
Waterboard, how's that work? You know, when the culverts were added to the Lake Hiawatha, or basically the pipe stem by Sykes and the waterboard was kind of in, that was all part of a waterboard project, correct?
Which one's the one?
One go right by Sykes, in the city of Sykes,
Right where the
right on the edge
They
of
put in-
by the park.
They put in 4 7-footers
Yeah,
here
yeah.
last year, when, 2 years ago.
So 2 miles east, over the dam as we go into Foster County, that the pipe stem keeps draining through there, it comes over the dam.
I have to look back, that was probably a joint waterboard project with Wells City Foster, because is that on the pipes, that's on the pipe stem?
On the pipe
It's on
stem.
the pipe
Does that
stem
go
and-
right to the Rocky Run?
Yeah, well, it's on the pipe, yeah, the pipe stem, I don't believe the Rocky Run has anything to do with
No.
this.
Okay, okay.
Pipes.
Just the pipe stem.
Well, I think what happened that one year, when the water got so high, the water actually backed up west of Sykeston and went north and ended up in the Rocky River.
Yeah, correct.
And a lot of people weren't too happy.
In that launch.
Yeah.
So that's when the water board got involved and
This-
said, we need to put some more
This
culverts in
project is like 2 miles east of the dam.
Yeah. I'm sure there was cost share for that, I'd have to look. We replaced so many culverts that it's.
But so this project would probably
fall
fall.
under the 60/40. But, I'd have to ask Larry when he comes in, he's coming in this morning, so.
So, yeah,
so
Or
I
it might
think,
be a 60/40 with the county too.
with the county and the water board.
I think we should explore that avenue first.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't have to order the pipes tomorrow.
No,
This is, I think, best case scenario, however we work this out between the commissioners, the water board, and the township, whatever the decision be made, it wouldn't be a project that would be done till probably mid to late fall of this year.
I would say it's got to
Earliest.
dry out.
The driest part of the year.
Driest
Yeah.
part of the year.
If we get lucky and don't get, 8 feet
And,
of snow
yeah.
yet between now and spring, maybe that channel will dry out so we can do something.
And
But I
that-
think when it dries out, we better get it done.
Yeah.
I mean,
The pipe stem channel dries up pretty fast, the water moves through there pretty quick.
yeah.
It just depends, it could possibly be a July thing. Realistically, what True North Steel has always told me, and nothing has changed, is that if we order pipes through them, these would be 60-foot, one-piece pipe. There would be no bands.
Yeah.
They would have lifting lugs on them, and we could have them within 6 weeks.
Okay.
So, we're not crushed for time here.
Yeah.
So
You
how
know.
critical, is it a safety issue now, or?
It's getting there.
Well, it's getting there, I think.
Equipment's only getting bigger. You're
Yeah.
talking about a bridge that was probably built 80 years ago.
Oh, I'd say that bridge has been in there for at least 100 years, probably. It's been in there for a long,
Yeah.
long time. Nobody, remembers when that bridge was put in, even old fellas, so it's been in there a long
It's
time.
one of those situations where you have a 20-foot road top and no guardrails on the bridge
Yeah.
because it's not required.
Yeah,
So, you guys all know the equipment is bigger, wider, heavier, everything, and it's only going to get bigger. So it becomes an issue even if you're trying to get across that with an air seeder.
well, and then, a few years back, that I think what happens on the inside on your embankments, the cement's crumbling, falls away, well, then eventually you gotta put dirt in there or whatever.
And
to
that's
try
what
to
the
bank it.
county had to do with Mel.
Yeah, they had to come because there was a big hole on the one side of it
Yep.
where it started
They
to fall
backfilled.
away. Well, it's only a matter of time. You probably could run over it for, I don't know, if you
Yeah,
guessed.
you don't know.
You don't
Right, you
know.
don't know.
But with
Well,
these,
this is the deal, it sounds like it's gotta be done. I think we're willing to work with you, so let's see what we
Okay.
can do with the water board and
Sure.
all that.
yeah, well, that's just what we were kind of wondering, if we can get the ball rolling one way or the other.
Sure.
And I think we should just do it and get it done.
Well, and Billadu Township has access to more and more dirt to fill now with the water line going
Yeah,
through.
yeah, dirt shouldn't be a problem, no.
Because there is going to be there will be a a fairly large bill for you guys to put these pipes in.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna widen the channel
Yeah.
at the road,
it's not gonna be cheap, but,
but, you know. And you know, whatever is decided, obviously, we would want it to meet the county specs after the
Yeah.
pipes are put in. We've run into an issue where we paid for pipe and they were put in very poorly. And you know exactly where I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
so that being said, what do you wanna do with that? Do you
Well-
wanna
I think that,
be in charge of it, or?
well, I think you as supervisors and me and we need to be down there when it's done.
When it's being done?
It says specifically in our policy that he has to sign
Yep,
off on.
yeah, because, I mean, dams have to be built if there is water running. I don't, you know, these pipe can't be set in running water like they
Yeah.
were, you know, where I'm talking.
Yeah.
Things have to be done proper, the pipes have to be put in the right areas, not just where it's easier to save money.
Yeah.
And that falls back, you know, on your dollar.
Well, none of us three are very far away, especially
Right.
Steve, he only lives a mile away,
Yeah.
so.
And when this project is being done, we're learning, we kind of learned the hard way through the other project. You know, the township hired the contractor and all of a sudden the township calls me and there's pipe being put in and they say, we don't like what's going on here. I didn't even realize, you know, I mean, okay, I'll come down there and look, and it was not right.
So
So,
we'll definitely work with you, I mean,
Yeah.
if you got contractors you don't like, or don't, I mean, you don't, you know, whatever,
Well, I think it's important to get it done right.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. On
because you're
something
talking
this big.
about $60,000 of pipe that wash out, and if they wash out because it wasn't put in proper, I can, you know, I mean, it's not a good deal.
Well, I think it's gotta be done, and it should be rip-wrapped.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, you just gotta protect yourself for when, I mean, so much water comes through there at certain times. so.
Especially on the pipe stem, because the water comes through hard and fast.
Yeah. So, that's what when I visited with Pat this morning, I actually told him, that I think it should be probably fabric and rip-wrapped on both ends. I mean,
And
just to prevent that.
with 60 feet of pipe beveled back, you're gonna have a 24-foot top road top.
Yeah,
And then you're gonna have an inslope going down.
yeah. So,
Okay, well, we gotta move along here, so,
Yep.
Brent, keep putting together stuff, you guys can maybe work with him.
okay, all right, very good, well, thank you. for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very good.
We'll be in touch, Brad.
You bet, I'll stay in touch with you guys.
Okay, you bet.
Dave, I'll call you here after we talk to Larry too.
Sure,
okay?
okay.
All right.
Or do you just want us to stick around till he shows up?
He's probably not coming in for another 45 minutes. It's up to you guys,
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
all right.
No, dang.
What do you wanna do next, the board appointments?
Yeah, we can just keep going and stuff
Okay.
below.
Wells County District Reorganization Committee, I think Dan reached out to these two individuals if they'd fill the spots for, district, school
Yeah.
district, right?
Yeah, and they know that there's a possibility that this committee will never meet. I mean, that when it does, or if it does, or, it's nice to have those people in place.
We need to have names there, yeah.
Motion to approve.
Can we do them both at the same time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Motion made by Stan.
Second.
Go ahead.
Young Brian's got the second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The next one, that county boards and department, the reason I put that on there is I'm just gonna ask you, who would you like to hear from in the next couple of months? You know, you had soil conservation here, you had the treasurer's office here last month.
Yeah.
Who do you wanna hear from? And I don't care if it's a department in the courthouse or one of the outlying boards.
I think one of our big things was to get one of the outlines, you know.
Waterboard, we,
Social service, if you wanna,
who do you want social services?
I mean, have them come in and explain some of that stuff would be good, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
So who do you want first?
Social services.
The director you want, or?
Yeah, she's, I guess, would be a good option, Madison, so.
Anybody else?
Waterboard.
Waterboard?
Yeah.
We
Well, they've just been here.
Well, they're gonna be here, but probably not for what you guys wanna dig into. So,
Well, we're gonna do just one of them a month, or you want more than one a month?
well, at least one. I mean, I think if you went one a month, you would just about circle
Right.
county government in a course of a year.
Yeah. Well, we could probably fit two in every month.
No,
One
they
a
don't
month.
need to.
Depends on how long they talk.
Well, on certain
Exactly.
ones, I think like the water board is more important, they should maybe be here more often versus, I don't know if the weed board's ever been here.
Right.
They've been.
Oh, yeah, they've been here.
They've been here. The weed board was here.
Not as often though. but-
Right. They come every year to
Yeah.
do their financial statement.
Well, I'm
Right.
thinking one of them that we should really visit with sooner than later is the fair board. Because of the summer.
Yeah, you're right. That would be a good idea.
Fair board and the social services, because we're gonna see water board today.
Right, but what I'd like to see from the water board is I'd like to see their financials. Because I get told a lot of stories and I'm not starting to believe most of them. Because I got told in this meeting that they don't pay for any that the citizens, the county, the taxpayers don't pay for any legal fees. In their budget, they have $35,000 for legal fees. Somebody's told the story.
I'm sure you could go to Tammy and ask for that information.
Well, why is it on the budget if he said that the taxpayers don't pay for no legal, but it's in their budget?
I think that was related to
That
legal
drain,
drains.
Yeah,
right,
it's taxed on that drain.
That
right.
legal fee for that.
You come in with a tiling project of 120 acres, they may have to consult that lawyer to see the
Okay.
legal
I
ramifications.
asked that question, and the way I asked it, I said, the taxpayers have an issue paying for legal fees, and he said, the taxpayers pay for no legal fees.
Well, I think
Well,
Dale
I
was
want to
in,
clarify that, because I want to be able to answer that question,
But I think the way I interpreted it that day, that was for legal drains and stuff.
okay?
When you get the guy east of town here blocking the road and stuff, the legal drain people aren't gonna be paying for that.
Okay, I just want to get it clarified, so that when I get asked a question, I got the right answer.
because
That's
I
that's my
think
concern.
the topic that day was about that particular legal drain, and that's what the question comes.
But
I think that's what it
Simply when we get done, you could ask Tammy quickly.
Right,
right.
Where are we at? Those two for
Yep,
next? meeting?
I've got social services, the fair board and the water board, and we'll get them in here in some order or fashion in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah, I think any of them, just to get more information and updates is a nice thing. And,
Well, it's
Even clerk of court,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
even Carrie.
they've all been here.
Well, right,
I
but
mean, it's, yeah,
been a
it's a
while.
good idea.
you know, time goes faster.
but
you think.
the point is to try and do this regularly to get a line of communication.
Right. To understand their department better.
Laura did a really nice job. today.
Laura did an excellent job, yeah.
Well, her objective was to let you know how complex it actually is.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's nothing simple about it, so.
I really think she accomplished that.
Yeah, she
Yes,
did.
Well, there's a lot of departments like that. Janice is no different.
Oh,
That'll make your
exactly.
head hurt.
Well, you know, this is something ordinary people, including us, don't realize what goes in. In fact, with Dan's department now, like, people don't realize how complex the payroll system is. You know, that's something nobody understands.
Or here's a little example. I stopped by the office when you were in the hospital and asked Renee, you know, just for moral support. You know, I know there's nothing I can do, but, you know, are you doing okay? And da-da-da-da-da. And she says, well, she says there's a couple things I can't do, Dan, and bring this out just for an example. I don't even know what it was. She says, he needs to sign and do something in regards to the election, whatever that was. Well, this is January, guys. The election was in November, but there still had to be some paperwork. Well, the public doesn't see that. You know, so that's just a little thing that I don't know how long it took or whatever. That's just an example.
I'm gonna take a break, but then we need to discuss the townships and billing, but that'll be the next thing.
I got a novel approach to that.
Cool.
just to warn you guys.
They approved the bill early in legislature.